Autumn Manvantar Markandeya says, O sage, the following Ganas who reigned during autumn Manavantar are very famous. They are the first Gan Swadma. The second Gan Satya was related with the deities. The third Gan was Shiva, the fourth was named Prathadan and the fifth Gan was Vashvati. Each of the Ganas are the master of 12 deities. Indra by the name of Sushanti rules all the three worlds by the virtue of accomplishing 100 Ashwamedha Yagyas. He along with Shiva and Satya etc. bestows peace to the world. The descendants of autumn ruled the whole earth for the full period of autumn Manavantar. The Saptarishis during this autumn Manavantar were the sons of sage Mahatma. The description of this third Manavantar is now complete. Now I am going to tell you about the fourth Manavantar, which is also known as Tamas Manavantar. Tamas Manvantar Markandeya says, there used to live a king named Swarashtra. The deity Surya had blessed him with a long life. The king had 100 wives, but they were not as lucky as he was as far as enjoying a long life was concerned. One by one, all of them died. A king from the neighboring state named Vimad defeated him in a battle. After being defeated, Swarashtra went at the bank of river Vyasa and started doing penance. One day, it rained heavily and the king was swept by the ferocious current. The drowning king saw a doe and held her tail to save his life. The doe told the king that she was aware about the lust of the king. She also told her that her pregnancy was causing hindrance in making love. The king was amazed. He asked as to how she could speak like a human being despite of being an animal. The doe replied that she was his most beloved queen Mahishi in her previous life. She had killed a pair of deer while they were making love. The doe had died but the deer survived. He had cursed her to become a doe in her next life. The deer also revealed to the queen that she would give birth to the mighty Lola. The same Lola would later on become famous as Manu after defeating his father's enemies. The king was very pleased at this. In due course of time, the doe gave birth to a son after which she went to the heaven. The sages named the son Tamas. When Tamas became young, he did penance to please Surya. Surya gave him many weapons by the help of which Tamas was able to defeat all his enemies. He brought all the enemies in front of his father but Swarashtra forgave everybody. He gave his kingdom to Tamas. Markandeya says, Tamas ruled over the whole earth. 4 types of deities were famous during this Manavantar: Satyagan, Sudhigan, Surupgan and Harigan. Indra was known as Shiki during this Manavantar. The names of these Saptarishis who lived during this Manavantar were Jyotirgam, Prithu, Kavya, Chatra, Agni, Balak and Pivar. The sons of Tamas Manu were very mighty. Their names were Nar, Kshanti, Shank, Dant, Jagnu and Janga etc. Ravat Manvantar Markandeya says, now I am going to tell you about Ravat Manu. His father was Ritvak. Ravat was born in Revti Nakshatra. Later on, he became infamous for his loose character. His father was very worried about him. Ritvak asked Sage Garg as to how such a mean child had been born to him. Sage Garg replied, the negative qualities of your son is due to his birth in Revti Nakshatra. Ritvak became very furious with Revti Nakshatra and cursed it, as a result of which, Revti Nakshatra fell down on Kumud mountain. All the 4 directions became illuminated and a reservoir was created. A girl manifested from that reservoir. A sage named Pramauchai brought that girl to his hermitage and named her as Revti. When the girl became young, the sage was very worried about her marriage. One day, Hutashan revealed to him that she would get married to Durgam, the eldest son of Swayambhu Manu. One day Durgam arrived at Pramauchi's hermitage. He saw Revti and asked her, "Oh beautiful lady, can you tell me where sage Pramauchi is? I have come here to pay my obeisance to him." At that time, sage Pramauchi was busy performing his yagya. Hearing his voice, he came out. Seeing Durgam at his hermitage, he instructed his disciple, Gautam, to bring Ayodhya for him. The sage said, "Durgam is not only a king but also my son-in-law." Durgam was very surprised at what sage Pramauchi had said. He asked sage Pramauchi as to how could he be his son-in-law and who was his wife. The sage replied, "Your wife is none other than the girl whom you met some time earlier. Her name is Revti." Then the sage narrated the whole story, how sage Garg had prophesied about Revti's marriage with Durgam. Durgam started contemplating on this peculiar situation. Sage Pramauchi started to make arrangements for the marriage. When Revti saw the arrangements being made for her marriage, she requested him to get her married in Revti Nakshatra. Sage Pramauchi revealed to her that this particular nakshatra did not exist in the sky anymore. Revti then requested him to establish this nakshatra in the sky. Sage Pramauchi re-established Revti Nakshatra in the sky by the help of his divine powers. Thus, Revti and Durgam got married. After getting married, Durgam requested the sage to bless him with a mighty son. Sage Pramauchi blessed him. After some time, Revti gave birth to Ravat Manu. Ravat Manu was proficient in all the scriptures. The chief ganas of Ravat Manometer were Sumedha, Gupti, Vaikund and Amitabhaicha. There were 14 deities present in each of the ganas. The presiding deity of these deities was Indra by the name of Vibhu. The Saptarishis present during this Manometer were Hiranyaroma, Vedshri, Urdhvabahu, Vedbahu, Sudma, Mehmuni, Payanya and Vashishta. Ravat Manu had 4 sons, Balbandhu, Mahavira, Suyastanya and Satyak. Chakshusmanvantar Chakshush had manifested from the eye, Chakshu, of Lord Brahma in his previous birth. For this reason, he was known as Chakshush. Chakshush was born to Anmitra and Giribhadra. After taking birth, he was abducted by Jatrini and exchanged with the son of King Vikrant, who was sleeping beside his mother. Being unaware of this event, Vikrant considered him as his own son and named him as Anand. When Anand grew up, once, his guru instructed him to make salutations to his mother. Anand replied, "To whom should I make salutations? The one who has given birth to me, or to the one who has brought me up and nurtured me?" The guru was surprised by his reply. He said, "O son, Hamini, the wife of Vikrant has given birth to you, and so, she is your mother." But Anand replied back, "This woman is not my mother. I have taken birth from somebody else's womb. This woman is the mother of Chatra. I am the son of Anmitra and Giribhadra. Jatrini had abducted me and brought me here. She had also carried Chatra to Punava's place and kept him over there. Jatrini had devoured the son of Punava. Now tell me, who is my mother and to whom should I make salutations?" The guru became confused, so were the king and the queen. Anand went to the forest and started doing penance. Prajapati became pleased by his tremendous penance and appeared before him. He said, "O son, what makes you undertake such a severe penance?" Anand replied, "O Lord, I am doing this penance with the purpose of becoming free from all the bondage of my karma and to purify myself." Brahma said, Only the mortal men are fit to become liberated because they are bound by their karmas, but you being a virtuous person are not bound by your karmas. With my blessings, you would become the sixth Manu. There is no need for you to do penance. Lord Brahma named him as Chakshush. Later on, he became famous as Chakshush Manu. When Chakshush Manu attained marriageable age, he married Vidarbha, the daughter of Ugra. Markandeya says, Apya was the most prominent gun of Chakshush Manavanta. He was the master of 8 deities. The second gun was called Prasut. He too was the master of 8 deities. Similarly, there were 2 more Ganas, Bhatyakya and Ulka. Each of them was the master of 8 deities. The presiding deity of these deities was Indra by the name of Manojav. The Saptarishis present during this Manavanta were Sumedha, Viraja, Havishman, Ulnath, Madhu, Ati and Sahishnu. Chakshush had many mighty sons like Uru, Kuru, Shatadyumna etc. Now I am going to tell you about the 7th Manu who was called Vavasvat. Vavasvat Manvanta, the birth of Ashwini Kumars and Revant Markandeya says, the Manu of Vavasvat Manavanta was famously known as Vavasvat as he was the son of Vivaswan, Surya. Surya was married to Sangya, the daughter of Vishwakarma. Although she had borne 2 sons, Vavasvat and Yam, and a daughter, Yami, from Surya, yet the radiance of Surya was too much for her to bear. So, one day, she created a shadow identity of herself and requested it to act as if she was the real Sangya. She said to the shadow, as long as your identity remains unknown, I would not reveal myself. After this, Sangya went back to her father's home and ultimately to Uttakuru, where she started doing penance in the guise of a mare. Surya, on the other hand, was not aware of Sangya's doings. In due course of time, the shadow of Sangya gave birth to many children. Though she loved her own children, she never had the same attitude towards the 3 sons of Sangya. Seeing her discriminatory attitude, Yam tried to kick her with his leg. The shadow of Sangya became furious. She cursed Yam's leg to get severed from his body. Yam became very scared. He went to his father Surya accompanied by Vavasvat and Yami. He told Surya, a mother can never curse her own child. So, this woman is certainly not our mother because she has cursed me. Surya called the shadow of Sangya and asked about her true identity, but Sangya's shadow kept mum. Seeing her quiet, Surya became very angry and he held her by her hair and was just about to curse her when, out of fear, she revealed the whole story. Surya went to the place of his father-in-law, Vishwakarma, and asked about Sangya. Vishwakarma feigned ignorance. He said, she did come but she had returned to your place after staying here for a while. Vishwakarma knew the reason why Sangya had abandoned her husband. So, he subdued the radiance of Surya. The sages of Savarnik Manvanta Krosthukya says, O revered sage, you have already enlightened me by revealing the names of 7 different Manus of each Manavanta. You have also told me about the deities, the kings and the sages who existed during each Manavanta. Now, I am curious to know about the 7 Manus, the deities and the sages of this Kalpa. Markandeya says, Savarni, the son of Sangya's shadow would be the 8th Manu. The Saptarishis of Savarni Manavanta would be Rama, Vyasa, Galav, Diptiman, Krip, Rishyasring and Drauna, Ashwatthama. The 3 main categories of deities existing during this Manavanta would be Sutapa, Amitabh and Mukhya. Each of them is the master of 20 Ganas. Among these, the Ganas Prabhakar, Prabhas, Detita, Dharm, Tejah, Rashmi and Vakratu come under the authority of the deity, Sutapa. Similarly, the deity Amitabh is the master of the ganas like Prabhu, Vibhu and Vibhas etc. The deity Mukhya is the lord of ganas like Dama, Dant, Rit, Soma and Vint. All of them are the offspring of sage Kashyapa. They will become famous as the deities of Savarna Manometer. Bali, the son of Virochan, would hold the post of Indra during this Manometer. Virja, Avavir, Nirmoha, Satyavak, Kriti and Vishnu will be the sons of Savarna Manu. Killing of Madhukaitbha. Markandeya says, King Surat was the descendant of Chatra. He was defeated in the battle against King Kolvidvansi. All his wealth was deceitfully taken over by his cunning ministers. King Surat fled to the forest to save his life, where he met a sage named Medha. He stayed with him at his hermitage, but after a while, the thought of his lost kingdom began to torment him. One day, while he was roaming near the hermitage, he met a Vaishya named Samadhi. Samadhi narrated his woeful story as to how his sons had driven him out of his home after taking all his wealth. But in spite of this, his love for them remained intact. Both Surat and Samadhi went to sage Medha and told him that, in spite of our miserable condition, we are unable to understand why we still have affection and love for our near and dear ones even though they have cheated us. Sage Medha replied, O king, due to the illusions of this world, human beings are deeply influenced by attachments. So, there is nothing to be amazed. Goddess Mahamaya influences the mind of each human being. She does not spare even the most learned one. When she becomes pleased, she bestows liberation. The king asked, Who is this Mahamaya? Please tell us about her. Sage Medha then told them about Mahamaya, O king. Goddess Mahamaya is beyond the reach of origin and destruction. When the whole earth was submerged in water at the end of the Kalpa, Lord Vishnu took refuge of Yoganidra. While he was sleeping, two demons, Madhu and Kite, manifested from the wax of his ears. The demons wanted to attack Brahma. Lord Brahma got scared and sought help from Goddess Nidra. She manifested from the body of Lord Vishnu and appeared before Lord Brahma. Lord Vishnu woke up from his sleep. He saw that the demons were trying to kill Lord Brahma. He fought with both the demons for 5,000 years. Goddess Mahamaya influenced the demons' minds, as a result of which, they asked some boons from Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu granted the boons to them and said, Both of you will get killed by me. The demons said, We are ready to get killed on the condition that you kill us only in such a place where there is no water. As the whole earth was submerged in water, so the demons thought that Lord Vishnu would not be able to get a base to kill them. But Lord Vishnu severed their heads after making them sit on his thighs. The destruction of Mahishasura's army. Markandeya says, during ancient times, the deities and the demons fought a fierce battle which lasted for 100 years. The deities were defeated in this battle. Mahishasura drove out the deities from heaven and ascended the throne of Indra. The defeated deities went to seek the help of Lord Brahma, Vishnu and Mahadev. They narrated their woeful tale to all the three deities. Brahma, Vishnu and Mahadev became furious at the demons' cruelty. A powerful effulgence appeared from the mouth of Brahma, Vishnu and Mahadev. Similar effulgence appeared from the bodies of all the deities. The super effulgence was created from the unison of all these effulgence, and a goddess manifested from it. The deities were very pleased. All the deities presented their weapons to the goddess. After this, they hailed her name in a loud voice by chanting, "Victory be to her." The goddess laughed loudly. Her laughter shook the whole earth violently. When Mahishasura heard her laughter, he proceeded towards her accompanied by a huge army. When he reached there, he was amazed at the appearance of the goddess. He attacked her with his army, which boasted of mighty warriors like Chama, Chikshur, Udagra, Asalom, Mahanu, Vashkal, Parivrit, Vidal and Kal. These demons had dangerous weapons like Toma, Shakti, axe, make etc. One by one, the goddess destroyed all the demons' weapons and launched an attack on them. The deep exhalations made during the battle resulted into the creation of numerous ganas. These ganas joined the goddess in the battle. Ultimately, the goddess succeeded in killing all the demons. The battlefield was covered by demons' corpses as well as carcasses of elephants and horses. The deities were pleased by the outcome of this battle. The deities eulogize Goddess Bhagwati. Markandeya says, after the killing of Mahishasura, all the deities including Indra eulogized Goddess Bhagwati and said, "We make salutations to her who has manifested herself as a result of the unison of the powers of all the deities, one who is revered by all the deities and the sages. May she bless us. We make salutations to that goddess whose powers are indescribable even by Lord Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. O goddess, please nurture the whole world with your love and care. We find ourselves incapable of describing your grandeur and magnificence." Goddess Bhagwati became very pleased with their devotion and asked them to demand any boon. But the deities replied, "O goddess, by killing Mahishasura, you have already fulfilled our aspirations. If you really want to bless us, then please appear before us at the time of our need." The goddess blessed them by saying, "So be it." Markandeya says, "Now, I am going to tell you how Goddess Bhagwati protected the deities by killing the demons Chump and Nishump. Goddess Parvati and Chumpa's messenger Markandeya says, during ancient times, the demons Chump and Nishump had captured all the three worlds after defeating the deities. The deities went to Goddess Parvati and eulogized her by saying, "O goddess, you had promised us that you would come to our help at the time of our need. The time has arrived." As the deities were busy eulogizing Goddess Parvati, she was preparing to go for her bath. She came near the deities and asked them as to who were they eulogizing. Suddenly, a divine entity manifested from her body and answered on behalf of the deities, "These deities are eulogizing me." This divine entity was none other than Goddess Shiva. As Shiva had manifested from the cell, Koshika, of Parvati's body, she was also known as Kaushiki. Kaushiki possessed divine beauty. The demons, Chant and Mund, happened to see her. Both of them went to Chump and described to him about Kaushiki's beauty. Chump wanted to marry her. He sent a messenger named Sugriv to Kaushiki to inform her about his intentions. Sugriv went to Kaushiki and said, "You are so beautiful. You are fit to marry a mighty demon king like Chump who rules over all the three worlds." The goddess laughed and said, "O messenger, I am ready to marry Chump or Nishump because I know they are very powerful, but there is one problem. As I have taken a vow that I would marry only such a person who defeats me in a battle." The messenger replied, "O beautiful lady, how can you fight the mighty Chump who has defeated even the deities and who is the master of all the three worlds?" Sugriv made persistent requests, but the goddess refused to go along with him. She instructed him to inform Chump and Nishump about her vow. Killing of Dhumralochan. Markandeya says, Sugriv went back to Chump and narrated the whole story. Chump became very furious and instructed Dhumralochan to bring her by force. Dhumralochan went to Goddess Bhagwati accompanied by 60,000 demons. Initially, he requested her to come along with him. He also threatened to take her forcibly if she did not accept her proposal. Goddess Bhagwati refused to go along with him. Dhumralochan angrily ran towards her. The goddess made a loud roar, as a result of which, Dhumralochan's body was reduced to ashes. After his death, Dhumralochan's army attacked Goddess Bhagwati. The mount of the goddess Singha killed all the demons. When Chump got the news of Dhumralochan's death, his anger knew no bounds. He instructed Chant and Munt to go and bring Goddess Bhagwati after capturing her. Killing of Chant and Munt proceeded with a huge army. At that time, Goddess Bhagwati had positioned herself at the peak of Himachal mountain. She was mounted on the back of Singha and was smiling sweetly. Chant and Munt tried to enslave her, but suddenly, Goddess Kali appeared from her mouth and ferociously attacked the demons. She devoured some of them and killed the rest. After seeing his huge army vanquished, Chant angrily ran towards Goddess Kali. Munt attacked her with a range of arrows, which infuriated Goddess Kali, and she pulled Chant by his hair and severed his head by a sword. Seeing him fall to the ground, Munt ran towards Goddess Kali, but even he was killed. The rest of the army retreated. After killing Chant and Munt, Goddess Kali told Goddess Bhagwati, "I have done my duty. I have killed Chant and Munt. Now you should do the same by killing Chump and Nishung." Goddess Bhagwati replied, "Since you have killed the demons, Chant and Munt, from now onwards, you will also become famous as Chandika." Killing of Raktabij. Markandeya says, when Chump got the news of Chant and Munt's death, he became very furious. He proceeded to fight Goddess Bhagwati accompanied by numerous mighty warriors like Udayut, Kambu, Kotivirya, Dhumravana Shajat, Kalak, Kalkail, etc. When Goddess Chandika saw them coming, she made a loud sound by pulling the bowstring. The demons came near and surrounded Goddess Chandika and Goddess Bhagwati from all the sides. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu became anxious. They created divine entities with the help of effulgence emanating from their bodies. These divine entities resembled Goddess Chandika. They instructed these divine entities to kill all the demons. Goddess Chandika requested Lord Shiva to approach Chump and Nishump as her messenger and inform him that they should either take refuge in the Patal Loka or be ready to die. Lord Mahadev went to the place where Katyayani was fighting the demons. The demons attacked her with different weapons, but Chandika gave them a befitting reply. Unable to face the assault of the goddesses, the demons started fleeing. Seeing this, Raktabij came forward to fight. Raktabij was blessed with a boon that was, if a single drop of his blood fell on the ground, this drop would create another form of his. This way, in a very short time, thousands of Raktabijas covered the battlefield. The deities became afraid. Seeing the frightened deities, Bhagwati said to Kali, "O Chamunda, open your mouth and drink each drop of blood coming out from the injuries of Raktabij." After saying this, Goddess Bhagwati attacked Raktabij with her trident. Goddess Kali drank all the blood coming out from his wound. At last, Raktabij was killed. The deities were pleased. Goddess Kali started to dance with ferocity due to the intoxication caused by drinking of the blood. Killing of Nishump. Markandeya says, when Chump and Nishump heard about Raktabij's death, they were infuriated. Nishump attacked the goddess with a huge army. Chump attacked from the other side. In the fierce battle, Goddess Bhagwati broke the sword as well as the shield of Nishump. Nishunk then attacked Goddess Bhagwati with his weapon Shakti. Goddess Bhagwati broke it with her chakra. At last, she attacked him with her arrows at him, and as a result, Nishunk got injured and fell. When Chump saw Nishunk, injured and unconscious, he ran towards Goddess Bhagwati to kill her. Goddess Bhagwati blew her conch and made a thunderous noise by pulling the bowstring. Chump released the dangerous weapon Ugradipti in the direction of Goddess Bhagwati. But her weapon Maholkanamni destroyed it. Chump thundered loudly and attacked Goddess Bhagwati with a volley of arrows, but none could cause any harm to her. Finally, Goddess Bhagwati attacked Chump with her trident. Chump fell down unconscious. After some time, he regained his consciousness and attacked Goddess Bhagwati with his arrows. But she destroyed all the arrows. In the meantime, Nishunk had regained his consciousness. He got up and attacked Goddess Bhagwati with his trident. In the end, Goddess Bhagwati killed Nishunk by piercing her trident in his heart. As Nishunk was dying, another demon manifested from his body. Even he was killed by her. Her mount Singha devoured all the dead demons. Killing of Chump. Markandeya says, Chump became angry at the death of his brother Nishunk. He furiously told the goddess, "O wicked lady! Do not be proud of your strength borrowed from others." Goddess Bhagwati replied, "O wicked demon! I am the only power of this whole universe. I am the origin of cause and effect. Look, all the divinities are entering into my body." The next moment, all the divine entities, which had earlier manifested from the bodies of the deities, united with the goddess. Now, the goddess was alone. A tremendous battle was fought between Goddess Bhagwati and Chump. Ambika attacked him with numerous divine weapons. But, Chump neutralized her attack with his own weapons. Chump covered the whole body of Goddess Bhagwati with his arrows. She broke his bow. After this, Chump attacked her with his weapon named Shakti, which was broken into pieces by her chakra. Now, Chump took out his sword and attacked her with it. She broke his shield and sword with her arrows. Chump then attacked her with his make. Even his make was broken into pieces. Chump had no more weapons left with him. He attacked the goddess on her breast with his clenched fist. She slapped him on his face, because of which he fell down. The next moment, he got up and manifested himself in the sky. Now, a tremendous duel was fought between them in the sky. In the end, she dashed him on the ground and pierced the trident in his heart. Chump was instantly killed. After the killing of Chump, all the deities became pleased. The Gandharvas and the deities rejoiced. The Apsaras danced. The whole atmosphere echoed with the sound, "Shanti Shanti, let there be peace." Devi Stotra. Markandeya says, after Goddess Bhagwati had killed Chump, all the deities under the leadership of Indra and Agni started eulogizing her. "O goddess, be pleased upon us. Protect the whole world, as you are the goddess of this whole universe. You appear in the form of this earth, the base on which everything is situated. Your light illuminates all the living creatures. You are the only power through which creation, nurturing and annihilation takes place. You are the Brahmani, Maheshwari and the Kaumari. We salute you because you have protected us from the terror of the demons. We need your protection from all the calamities of this world." Goddess Bhagwati was extremely pleased by their eulogy. She asked them for any wish. The deities said, "O Akhileshwari, we need your protection. Clear all the obstacles from our path. Eliminate our enemies." Goddess Bhagwati replied, "During Vavaswat Manometer, I will take incarnation from Yashoda's womb, the wife of Nand. to kill the demons Chump and Nishump. After that, I will kill the demon Viprachit in my most aggressive form. 100 years later, I will manifest myself and would be known as Satakshi because of my 100 eyes. My next incarnation would be known as Shakambari because I would nurture the whole world during the period of drought. I will kill the demon Dogam during that drought period. I will kill the demon Arun, the tormentor of all the three worlds, by appearing in the form of a bee. Due to this, I will be known as Brahmari. I will take incarnations every time the demons torment the world. Goddess Bhagwati Blesses, the deities Goddess Bhagwati says, I will clear all the obstacles from the path of such a man who worships me. A devotee who listens to the great tales of how I killed Mahishasura, Chump and Nishump, on the 8th, 9th and 14th days of any month, would be liberated from all sins and poverty. He would become free from fear. A devotee must listen to my divine tales during all the religious ceremonies like making sacrifice, worship and performing yajna. By doing this, all his enemies will be eliminated. A man who remembers me when faced with dangerous situation remains protected by me. After blessing the deities, Goddess Bhagwati disappeared from their sight. All the demons, which had survived after the killings of Chump and Nishump, went to the nether world to save their lives. Goddess Bhagwati Blesses Surat and the Vaishya, the sage says, O king, I have described in detail about the greatness of Goddess Bhagwati, who is the creator of this universe. She is the one who bestows the knowledge of self to us. She is the Maya, illusion, by whom the whole world is influenced. You must take her refuge. You can achieve all the pleasures of this world, heaven, as well as liberation. King Surat and the Vaishya went to do their penance. While doing their penance, they chanted the mantras of Devi Sukta. They made an earthen idol of Bhagwati and worshipped it by offering flowers, dub, etc. They did an austere penance for 3 years, implying various modes of worship. Sometimes, they observed fast, the other time, they offered their own blood to please Goddess Bhagwati. At last, the goddess was pleased and appeared before them. She said, I am pleased with both of you. I will fulfill whatever you wish. King Surat sought her blessings in regaining his kingdom from the clutches of his enemies. He also requested her to bless him with an undivided kingdom in his next life. The Vaishya requested her to make him free from all kinds of attachments. Goddess Bhagwati said, O king, very soon, you will be able to regain your whole kingdom from your enemies. In your next birth, you would be born as Savarni Manu, the son of Surya. You will also attain self-knowledge and become free from all kinds of attachments. After blessing both of them, Goddess Bhagwati disappeared. Savarn Manvantar Markandeya says, O great sage, now I am going to tell you about the Manometer of Savarn, which will be the 9th Manometer. Savarn was the son of Daksha. During this Manometer, there will be 3 prominent groups of deities. Each group would comprise of 12 deities. During this Manometer, Indra would be known as Adbhut. The names of the Saptarishis of this Manometer would be Meltithi, Vasu, Satya, Jyotishman, Dyutiman, Sabal and Hatyavahan. Savarn will have 8 sons: Drishtketu, Baheketu, Panchahesta, Niramay, Pritushravah, Achishman, Buridruyumna and Brihadmay. The 10th Manometer will be named after the 10th Manasputra of Lord Brahma. During this Manometer, the names of 2 prominent groups of deities will be Sukhasin and Niruddha. The total population during this Manometer will be 100 people. The total number of deities during this Manometer will also be of the same number. The name of Indra during this 10th Manometer would be Shanti, and the names of the Saptarishis during this 10th Manometer would be Apamurti, Havishman, Sukrit, Satya, Navag, Apratim and Vashishta. The 10th Manu would have 10 sons: Sukshetra, Uktamuja, Burishen, Viryavan, Shatanik, Vrishab, Anmitra, Jayadrat, Buridruyumna and Supava. The 11th Manometer will be named after Savarn, the son of Dharma. During this Manometer, there will be 3 prominent groups of deities: Vihangam, Kamad and Nirmanpeti. Each group would comprise of 30 deities. Indra would be known by the name of Vrishakya. The name of the Saptarishis of this Manometer would be Havishman, Varishta, Nishchar, Anag, Vishti, Agnidev etc. The 11th Manu would have 6 sons: Savatrag, Susharma, Devanik, Purudvaha, Hendanva and Gridhayu. The 12th Manometer will be named after Savarn, the son of Rudra. The names of the 5 prominent groups of deities of this Manometer will be Sudama, Sumna, Harit, Rohit and Suvarn. Each group will comprise of 10 deities. During this Manometer, Indra would be known by the name of Kratdhama. The names of the Saptarishis during this Manometer would be Dyuti, Tapasvi, Sutva, Tapomurti, Taponidhi, Tapureti and Tapoditi. The Manu of this Manometer would have 6 sons: Devavan, Upadev, Devashristha, Vidurat, Mitravan and Mitravinda. Rocher would be the Manu during the 13th Manometer. 3 prominent groups of deities would be Sudama, Sukam and Susharma. During this Manometer, Indra would be known by the name of Devaspati. The name of the Saptarishis of this Manometer will be Dhritiman, Avyai, Tatvadashi, Nirutsuk, Nirmoha, Sutapa and Nishkam. During this Manometer, Manu would have 8 sons: Chitrasen, Vichitra, Niyati, Nirbal, Dridh, Sunetra, Kshatrabudhi and Suvrat. Rocher Manvantar Ruchi advised to get married. Markandeya says, as soon as the ancestors departed, a beautiful Apsara came near Ruchi. Her name was Pramalocha. She said to him, O great sage, I have a daughter named Malini. The name of my husband is Pushkar. I want to get her betrothed to you. Please accept her as your wife. In course of time, she would give birth to Manu. Ruchi accepted her proposal. Ruchi married Malini in the presence of sages. In course of time, Malini gave birth to a son who was named Rocher. Rocher Manometer was named after him. Markandeya says, during ancient times, the ancestors of Ruchi were not pleased by his unmarried status. He was a sage of high degree and used to have food once a day. The ancestors asked him, O son, why didn't you get married? Grihastha ashrama holds a very important place in the life of a man. It is only after paying his 3 debts, Rina, that a man is entitled to become a householder. All your efforts in paying off your debts towards the deities and ancestors are useless unless you are married. Your aspirations of attaining the supreme abode would go in vain unless you have become a father. Ruchi replied, getting married is the root cause of all sorrows. It also obstructs the upward spiritual movement of a man. That is why I am not having any interest in getting married. Having self-control helps a man to attain salvation. The ancestors said, the path you have chosen would never lead you towards salvation. A man reaps the fruits of his karmas committed in his previous lives in the form of happiness and sorrow. An intelligent man must act in such a manner that his soul remains aloof from his karmas. Ruchi replied, the path of actions, karma, has been described as an avidya in the Vedas. Why are you pushing me towards that path? The ancestors replied, it is true what you have said. But at the same time, it can be proved wrong by one's karmas because karmas are the means by which a man attains self-knowledge. Your belief that your actions are purifying your soul is based on false notions. Actually, by not doing your karma, you are only torturing your soul. Karma is very beneficial for a man's upliftment. So, you must get married to enjoy a blissful life. Ruchi replied, O great ancestors! Who will give his daughter to a poor and an old man like me? The ancestors warned Ruchi that if he went against their wishes, he would face degradation in every sphere of his life. After saying this, the ancestors disappeared. Ruchi eulogizes his ancestors. Who bless him. Markandeya says, after the departure of his ancestors, Ruchi started wandering here and there in his restlessness. After some time, when he regained his composure, he decided to do penance to please Lord Brahma. His penance continued for 100 years. After the accomplishment of his penance, Lord Brahma appeared before him and asked what he desired. Ruchi expressed his desire of getting married as per the aspirations of his ancestors. Lord Brahma blessed him and also instructed Ruchi to eulogize his ancestors so that his wishes could be fulfilled. Ruchi eulogized his ancestors by chanting stotras. I make salutations to my ancestors who preside over the ceremony of Shraddha, who are pacified even by the deities, by the chanting of Swaha, made during the ceremony of Shraddha. I make salutations to my ancestors who dwell in the space and in the heaven. May my ancestors accept the offerings, which I am making in the form of flowers, cereals, water, dub, etc. Markandeya says, hardly had Ruchi accomplished his eulogy of the ancestors, a very bright effulgence appeared in front of him, who were in fact his ancestors. They said, demand any boon. Ruchi replied, Lord Brahma has instructed me to enhance the process of creation. So I need a wife for that purpose. The ancestors said, here at this very place, you will find a very beautiful wife. She would give birth to Rocher. You too would become very famous as Prajapati because of your numerous sons and you will attain salvation in the end. After blessing Ruchi, the ancestors departed for heaven. The beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Markandeya says, now I am going to tell you about the origin of Bhagavad Gita. Sage Angira had a disciple named Bhuti. He was short-tempered in nature and used to curse anybody at the earliest opportunity. Everybody including the deities like Indra, Vayu, Surya etc. were scared of him. Nobody went against his wishes and followed his commands. Bhuti had no children and commenced a rigorous penance to achieve one. But still, his aspiration remained unfulfilled. He decided to quit doing penance. His brother named Suvacha invited him to the yajna he was performing. Bhuti left the hermitage after entrusting his disciple Shanti to look after its affairs. Shanti tried his best to perform his duties according to the instructions of his teacher Bhuti. Yet, one day, the sacrificial fire got extinguished somehow. Shanti became scared at the prospect of facing his preceptor's wrath. He was certain of being cursed by Bhuti. Finding no other option, he went to Agni named Jativeda and sought his help. He tried to please him by chanting Agni Stotra. He eulogized Agni in many ways. He said, O Agni, the first of all creations, I need your blessings. Without you, the yajna cannot be performed. All the Vedas are full of praise for you. The deities as well as the demons tried to pacify you by making offerings to you. The deity Agni became extremely pleased by Shanti's eulogy and appeared before him. He asked Shanti to express his desire. Shanti requested Agni to reignite the sacrificial fire, which had gone off, so that he does not have to face the wrath of his guru. He then requested Agni to bless his guru with a son having all the good qualities. Agni was very much pleased by Shanti's devotion towards his guru. He said, "Your Guru Bhuti would have a son named Bhoitya after whom the Manometer would be named." After blessing him, Agni disappeared. Shanti returned to his hermitage and was very pleased to see the sacrificial fire burning. In the meantime, his Guru Bhuti arrived. His guru was very pleased with the sincerity of Shanti with which he performed his duties in his absence. Bhuti said, "O son, I don't understand the reason why my heart is overwhelmed with love. Love is alien to my nature. If you are cognizant of the reason, please tell me." Then Shanti narrated the whole story. Bhuti was very pleased by his devotion. He taught all the Vedas to Shanti. In course of time, Bhoitya was born to him. He was the Manu of the Bhoitya Manometer. During this Manometer, there would be 5 prominent groups of deities: Chakshush, Kanishth, Pavitra, Grajir and Bharavrit. During this Manometer, Indra would be known as Shuchi. The names of the Saptarishis would be Agnig, Agnibahu, Suchi, Mukta, Madhav, Shukra and Ajit. Bhoitya Manu would have 10 sons: Ga, Gambhir, Brahna, Bharata, Anugraha, Shrimani, Preta, Vishnu, Sankraman and Subal. A man who listens to the tales of all the 14 Manvantaras is not only blessed but becomes liberated from all his sins. Birth of Markandeya. Lord Brahma had created Daksha from the thumb of his right hand. Daksha's wife was created from the thumb of Brahma's left hand. Daksha had a daughter named Aditi. Markandeya was the son of Aditi and his father was Kashyapa. Krostyuki asked, "O Lord, why did Vivaswan Surya took birth as the son of Kashyapa?" Markandeya says, during the initial phase of creation, when nothing existed, except a large egg, Lord Brahma manifested inside that egg. Subsequently, he came out from that egg. At that time, a loud sound of Om came out from his mouth. From this sound of Omkar, were created Ghor, Guva and in the end Swa. These 3 mystic words are the forms of Surya. After that, 3 more mystic words were created: Maha, Jan and Tapa, each of the former word being grosser than the latter one. In the end, the word Satya was created, which was the grossest of all. These 7 mystic words related with the Omkar illustrate the gross and the subtle forms of Vivaswan. Manifestation of the sun god Aditya and the Vedas. Markandeya says, after Brahma came out from that egg, Rigveda manifested from his first mouth. From the mouth facing south, manifested the Yajurveda. After that, Samaveda manifested from his mouth facing west. In the end, Atharvaveda came out from the mouth facing north. The Rigveda symbolizes the Rajoguna while the Yajurveda symbolizes the Sattva guna. Samaveda comprises of Tamoguna whereas Atharvaveda is the mixture of Sattva and Tamoguna. The manifestation of the Vedas had illuminated the whole atmosphere. But the manifestation of Omkar overlapped their radiance and covered all the Vedas. At last, the radiance of the Vedas got united with that of the Omkar. The Rigveda symbolizes the form of Brahma during the period of creation while Yajurveda symbolizes Lord Vishnu during the whole period of nurturing. Samaveda is symbolical of Rudra at the time of annihilation. Markandeya says, In the beginning of the creation, Surya shed unbearable amount of heat. This made the process of creation very difficult. Lord Brahma became worried. He thought, due to the extreme heat of the sun, all the water on this earth is getting evaporated. If this continues to happen, then how would the creatures survive? Lord Brahma eulogized Surya to please him. He said, I make salutations to Surya, who is the object of contemplation of great sages, who is the source of all energy. O Surya, it is only because of you that I can create, nurture and annihilate. You are the protector of this universe created from the Panchatattvas. Please subdue your radiance so that I can commence my creation. Vivaswan Surya became very pleased by Brahma's eulogy and subdued his radiance. Thus, it became possible for Lord Brahma to begin his creation. He created the deities, demons, human beings, animals, vegetation etc. in the same way as he had done in earlier kalpas. Progenies of Kashyapa and Aditi's eulogy of Divakar Markandeya says, Lord Brahma, after having created the universe, divided the earth into various islands. He also created the oceans and the mountains. Marichi, the son of Brahma, was the father of Kashyapa. Kashyapa was married to the 10 daughters of Daksha. He had numerous sons from them, like the deities, the demons and many creatures like reptiles. Aditi was the mother of the deities, Diti of the demons, Danu of the Danvas, monsters. Winter gave birth to Garuda and Arun. Ravasa was the mother of Yakshas and the Rakshasas, Kadru of the Nagas. Muni was the mother of Gandharvas. Krodha was the mother of Kulyavaganas, Rishta of Apsaras. Ira was the mother of the elephants and Tamra was the mother of Shayani. Ila gave birth to all the vegetation while Prada gave birth to the insects. The earth was inhabited with the progenies of Aditi's sons. Lord Brahma had made the deities masters of all the 3 worlds. This decision of Brahma had made the Daityas, Danvas and Rakshasas very angry. They got united and started causing obstacles in the path of the deities. A great battle was fought between the deities and the demons, in which the deities were defeated. Aditi, the mother of the deities, became very sad. She did a rigorous penance to please the sun god. She observed fasts and eulogized the sun god for most of her time. At last, the sun god appeared before her, but she could not bear his radiance, which was so powerful that she could not even open her eyes. She requested him to subdue his power so that she could see him. Aditi gives birth to Aditya. Markandeya says, after being pleased by the eulogy of Aditi, the sun shed its radiance and became somber. Now, Aditi could see him. She said, O Lord, be pleased upon me. The Daityas and the Danvas have captured all the 3 worlds from my sons. I request you to take birth as my son and defeat the demons. The sun god agreed to take birth as her son. In course of time, Aditi became pregnant. She engaged herself in religious activities so that she could become a mother of a virtuous child. Seeing his pregnant wife observing fasts, Kashyapa became very angry. He said, it is not proper for a pregnant woman to observe fast, as it may prove to be harmful to the fetus. Why are you trying to destroy it? Aditi replied, I am not trying to destroy my fetus. After taking birth, our child will destroy our enemies. In her anger, Aditi released her fetus. Kashyapa started chanting the mantras of Rigveda. In a very short time, her child came out from that fetus. A heavenly voice was heard which said, O sage, since you have called this fetus Marit, therefore your son would be famously known as Martand. After the birth of Martand, the morale of the deities was boosted up. Indra challenged the demons. A tremendous battle ensued between both the sides. Markand glanced towards the demons, as a result of which they were charged to death. The deities were pleased and eulogized Markand. At last, the deities regained their territories they had lost to the demons. Markandeya says, Vishwakarma had married his daughter Sandhya to the sun god. But being unable to face the unbearable radiance of the sun, she went to do penance after instructing her shadow to perform the duties of an ideal wife on her behalf. Ultimately, she returned back to her husband only after Vishwakarma had subdued the radiance of the sun god. Vishwakarma then eulogized the sun god by saying, I make salutations to the sun god whose existence is beneficial for the whole universe. I make salutations to one whose own origin remains a mystery and who enables our eyes to see. I make salutations to the sun god who destroys darkness and who lightens up the whole world. Rajavardhan's subjects eulogize sun god for his long life. Krostuke says, O Lord, enlighten us on the greatness of Bhaskar. Markandeya replied, there was a king named Rajavardhan. His subjects were very happy and satisfied under his rule. They were free from all the diseases. Rajavardhan ruled for 7,000 long years. His wife was Manini. One day, while Manini was applying oil on his head, she saw a grey hair. She became very sad and started crying. A drop of tear fell on the king. He asked the queen as to why she was crying. The queen told him about the reason. The king laughingly said, I am fully satisfied by my rule of 7,000 years. The grey hair on my head is an indication that I must now abandon my worldly life and become a recluse. This would be more appropriate for me. When his subjects came to know about his decision, they became sad. But nothing could make the king change his mind. He decided to become a recluse after appointing his son as his successor. The king called the astrologers for consultation. The astrologers advised the king to change his mind. But Rajavardhan did not listen to them. At last, his subjects decided to eulogize the sun god and demand a long life for their king. All of them started worshipping the sun god. A Gandharv whose name was Sudama appeared before them and instructed them to go to a forest named Guha Vishal and continue their penance. All of them went to the forest as per the instruction of the Gandharv. There was a beautiful temple of Lord Bhaskar in the forest. They worshipped Surya and eulogized him. Their worship continued for 3 months, after which the sun god became pleased and appeared before them. Lord Bhaskar asked them to demand any boon. He said, O Brahman, demand anything you wish. All of them said, O Lord, if you are really pleased with us, then bless our King Rajavardhan with a long life. Please bless him with an eternal youth and a life free from all the deities. We want our king to live for 10,000 years. The sun god blessed them by saying, so be it. After receiving the boons, all of them came to the king's palace and narrated the whole story. The queen was very pleased, but the king was worried. The queen was surprised at the king's sadness even after getting such good news. The king replied, what is the use of remaining alive for 10,000 years? You won't be alive then. Will I be able to enjoy my life in your absence? Will not the deaths of my sons, my grandsons and my near and dear ones make me sad? The boon of myself enjoying life for 10,000 years will actually prove to be a curse. The queen sadly said, whatever you have said is true. I could not understand this fact because of my ignorance. Now, you must do your duty, as the boon of the sun god is not going to go in vain. The king decided to go to the mountain Prabhriti and do penance. He wanted to receive a boon from Sun God, which enabled all his subjects and his relatives to remain alive as long as he lived. The queen also decided to move along with the king. Both of them did an austere penance. The sun god appeared before them and blessed them. Thus, Rajavardhan lived for 10,000 years along with his subjects. If you enjoyed this audiobook, please like and subscribe to be notified of when new audiobooks are uploaded. Thank you for listening and learning. Shanti.